Hello, this is Rob Gallup here, and we are working with Token Tool. And in this lesson, we're going to look at drawing tools, how to draw walls and rooms and simple shapes. And this is a really quick way of drawing a big dungeon fairly quickly. So first we're going to start by activating the drawing tools. We go up here to this button on the toolbar, drawing tools, and we hit that, and we see our tool tray changes over here. And besides just the list of layers, we've got our texture pickers up here. This is what our drawing tool will actually draw with when we move it across the map here. And we have these other two tools here. I'm not going to get into what this other stuff are because it's not important. Snap to Grid. This tool, you're going to want to generally leave it in this Snap to Grid mode, where you can see it's the letter Z that's got sharp corners, as opposed to a letter Z that's more sort of loosey-goosey. So we're going to leave that on Snap to Grid with the Snap to enabled. And the pen width usually is the default, I think, is 2 or 3. You're going to want to set that to at least 7 or 8. So when you draw a line, it's wide enough to actually see it on the map. 2 or 3 is just too thin. So we're going to go over here, and these are showing the last textures that I used to draw with. The first time you launch this tool, I think they will be white or they might be empty. But to change them, you just click on them once, and you get this this picker. You can pick solid colors and things like that. I think it's best to use these built-in textures, which are under default and under the texture tab, and then under this default. All these textures come with it for free. Cracked mud makes a good wall-like texture. Other good ones are sand, and another good one is arid. If you're in a cave or you just want to make an especially crumbly-looking dungeon wall. But my go-to is cracked mud, and I've just set this one as cracked mud. You would need to do the same with this other one here on the right. Click on it to make the chooser appear. Go into the texture menu, under default, textures, cracked mud. Not important to understand why there are 2 of them. You can probably figure it out on your own later. Just in the interest of keeping this quick, we're not going to get into it. So before we start drawing, make sure that you have the background layer selected. Whatever layer is selected when you start drawing, that's where your drawing is going to appear. So you're going to want to make sure that if you're drawing walls and things like that, it's all the way behind all of your other images rather than on top of them, which it could be if you accidentally select the token layer or the object layer and start drawing. So hit the background layer. And then we're going to go up here, and we're going to, the only 2 we're going to look at are draw straight lines and draw a rectangle. We're going to start with draw straight lines. And to draw a straight line, you pick a spot in the map, and note that we have Snap to Grid enabled and drawing a straight line. So we pin one end of the line by left-clicking one time. And you'll see as I move it around, it'll snap to a corner of a square. So I've pinned one end of it by left-clicking, and I pin the other end by left-clicking again, and there's our straight line. So I'm going to quickly draw a room here. Left-click one end to pin it, left-click to pin the other end. Left-click, draw my line, left-click again, left-click, left-click again. And here is a room. Right now, it's not that impressive to look at because we don't have any of the visual effects enabled later on when we take a look at token vision and light sources and vision blocking and light blocking. This would appear, these walls will actually block light and vision, so you would just see the spaces inside the walls from the perspective of this creature token, and everything on the outside of here would be black and hidden by the fog of war effect, which we'll take another look at later. So we've just looked at drawing straight lines. Now we're going to look at the other tool that you use a lot, draw a rectangle. And works the same way. Snap to grid, you're going to want to enable it. Each tool has its own settings. So like for example, we're not going to use draw an oval, but you see I switched to draw an oval, and snap to grid has not been enabled for draw an oval. Same thing with draw a rectangle or draw a straight line or whatever. The tool settings here, it's going to remember what they are. So with snap to grid enabled, we're going to draw, once again, in the background layer. I left click and it is snapping to the grid. I'm drawing this great big solid shape. And I left click to pin one corner up here, and I move down here and left click again to pin the other corner, and there's my block shape. The third thing we're going to look at here is deleting these drawings, and this is actually a really cool way, a quick way to design a dungeon. You draw a big block like this, and you cut out, using the delete tool, you cut out rooms and hallways within it. And all you do with delete that's a little different is you hold down the shift key and then left click to pin one corner, and you'll see I'm getting this white shape, and one corner is pinned up here, and I'm going to go down over here and pin the other corner, and left click again. Everything underneath it is deleted, and I've just made a room. So we'll go down here and we'll make a narrow hallway. Holding down the shift key, I left click, and here is a hallway. And I left click again. We'll draw a small room over here on the corner. Left click again to pin one corner. Moving over here, left clicking again to pin the other corner, and everything under it is deleted. So I'm drawing rooms and hallways and things like that. This is a really quick and easy way to design a really big dungeon, and it's just a breeze to do. You can even draw this on the fly. You can start a campaign and have a dungeon that you don't even know what it's going to be when you start it, because it's so easy to just keep adding more. You just add more space and then use the erase tool to cut out more rooms in the areas before your players get there. I don't do that much anymore. Mostly I design the complete dungeon beforehand, but this is a really good way of winging it, especially if your players do what a lot of players do, is you expect them to go one way, you think they're going to turn left, and they turn right, and then you're stuck. But being able to do this on the fly really quickly is a really great feature of this tool, of MapTool. Okay, so we are done with this lesson, and we're going to show you more of the next lesson, so stay tuned. More to come. Thanks for watching.